Portland, Oregon ICE facility. I have been out there for about a year, maybe too much. Kind of like set up my whole life around that whole sphere. I'd come out there to talk to anybody. I came out there at first to just be part of the resistance, just like everybody else is. But eventually I would come out there to talk to MAGA. Something I've done throughout my life, my two best friends are conservatives, one of which we get into it. We get into the issues, but I still love him, and he saved my life, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Two of the most supportive people in my life, one of which I don't think voted for Trump either time. And I don't know if he even identifies as a conservative anymore. I've helped him understand the truth behind things, just like I do with MAGA on the ground. This thing that I've done for many years. I just would do it in some small town in the middle of nowhere in a red state. Get them to let out their poison long enough to take a drink of their beer, and then I'd build bridges so they would see that I'm a human. And those conversations are some of my favorite conversations I've ever had, because they give me hope. And that you can fight with kindness and love, even if it's absurd, because they will fall flat on their face if they reject it, if they try to treat that with nastiness. And I would come out there, and it started with a lady that hung this big sign that said, "More men in uniforms, less boys in dresses." I came up to her and I gave her the absurdity kindness. I said, "I'm not going to tear down your sign." She showed only nastiness. She said, "I have 3,000 people watching right now on my live stream." So I was like, okay, I'm going to check back in a little bit. And I came back and I, same thing. I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm just want to make sure you're okay. I see you're out here alone. And I got your back. Do you need any snacks?" More nastiness, right? As you would expect. But eventually she came around another day and said, "Hey, I'm sorry I was that way," whatever. Her viewers shaped her after that. She's an employee to her viewers that watch her live stream. I don't think you guys realize that. But I don't think you guys realize that if you really want the people you call a fascist, and I might too, if you want them to see something, they won't stumble on your algorithm, and if they do somehow, they won't sit through your media unless it's just to watch it enough to talk shit in the comment section. That doesn't move the needle with them. It might help us organize, and it does. And it's important. We should do it. We should have our own sphere. But it does not change them. It does not reach them. So I would get in front of the live streamers, and I would share the words to people laying in bed in a wife beater eating Cheetos, because they didn't want to scroll away from their favorite creator. They had to sit and listen to my words. And it would be by the tens of thousands. Tommy Boy, one of the biggest players out there, he regularly would break 12,000 viewers at a time. And every time he would yell that, I would come down there and tell 12,000 people everything I want to say about fascism, everything I want to say about the powerful, everything I want to say about the weak. I would get my ideas in their head in a way that wouldn't disappear before their head hit the pillow at night. Just only yelling fascist to them, they will forget that. It will not matter. It will feel good. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I don't police people's protests. But throughout all of this, MAGA has been cruel. They've done awful things to me. They knew that I was threatening their narrative in the beginning of it, but one by one, I was persistent. I dealt with their abuse. I talked to them, and eventually they listened. Eventually they liked me, and eventually they would protect me when one of theirs would come after me. Not enough. It can't be everywhere all the time, but it felt good that they were keeping me safe. the ones on the ground, there were still those ones that sit at home and watch the live streams and decide to do something about it. And cowards. So, Tommy Boy took 40 different visits to get him to talk to me like a human being. I consider him like the end boss, but everybody else, it was similar. Some of them, I started with them after a number of them kind of got experience with me and appreciated what I'm doing. So some of those was right away. Some of those was a longer term thing, like Tommy. But one by one, I got them to understand that I am somebody that wants to talk, somebody that wants to try to find common ground, and somebody that wants to fight fascism, just in a different way. And tens of thousands of people across this nation and world know who I am, they know what I'm about, and I have gotten my words and my ideas into their head, and to the point where they will talk in their own spaces, and they will fight these battles for me when I'm not around and not even realize it. I've helped people grow and change and become a better person, and it warms my heart that after the propaganda changed them, that they are still holding on to those things that they improved. My influence wasn't based on me coddling them. I got to say the most scathing things I wanted to them. The only difference was I got to say the whole thing, and they listened, and they would internalize. They would think about it while I went grocery shopping or whatever, hanging out with the bros. That I have gifts to reach these people. And I also have gifts to talk people down when they are being dangerous and deadly with firearms. And the one person I put a lot of energy into was Shane, the one that pointed guns at people a lot, but one night where it was really bad, he did it for over an hour, and he pointed his gun to so many people. The thing is I couldn't walk all that well that night when I got there. I was distressed. I couldn't hear or see all that well, and I couldn't talk all that well. And somebody saw that I was struggling and brought me to the other side of the building to recover. And by the time I did enough to stand, I came down there and saw the aftermath. And I dressed them down. I called everybody little boys and little girls, and I said, this is not a fucking reality show. These are people's lives. Even though I didn't know completely what happened, other than somebody saying that he pulled a gun, which he's done before. So I talked to MAGA because the leftists wouldn't talk to me. I talked to them to understand their side of it. If anything, maybe it will hold them accountable. Those moments of their thoughts right after it will matter in a court battle if it comes to that, but I didn't know what happened. Just wanted to know what happened. And the leftists took that media, they went and found it, and then they made their own propaganda to tell people that I was supporting them, I supported what they did, and I was backing up Shane. Not even paying attention to the media that I put out there, me interviewing the police about what you can and cannot do legally and what he did and how that shakes out. They don't want to know anything about me. They want to create a reality surrounding just a bunch of lies around me. They spread them like cowards. They cannot talk to me. And they use MAGA propaganda to do it. We got Crow Feather out here, one of the indigenous people that I have been able to get along with until I couldn't. And I stopped by midweek last week, and he told me that I was threatening to assault him and dox him or something like that, which I most certainly the fuck was not. And then we got Steven just upset that right after it, I was saying like nobody was helping me when they were, but I was traumatized, I was struggling. And I was in a situation where they were making me march while assaulting me when I was saying, please just let me stop for a minute. I can't breathe. Please, I'm disabled. Please. They didn't care. They threatened to shoot me. That's what they did. And then they justified it afterwards, saying that I deserved it because of what they learned about me with propaganda, with lies. That is fascism. If you do not ask yourself, how am I perpetuating fascism? You are not doing enough work to call yourself an anti-fascist. Point blank, you are not. And what happened to me, the hate, the propaganda, the violence, that is the recipe. That is the recipe. All the media against me, all that kind of disappeared when they did these reports to the police that got this investigation. I don't put out a lot of my media because I wanted to move through these conversations. I did not want to hurt the conversations, specifically. I didn't want to compromise it. I wanted to have the right conversations and then have the ability to put a longer form sort of documentary or something tackling everything in a holistic view that you don't have to sit around and watch live streams to understand the full breadth of it in a way that anybody can just throw it on their screen and watch it and understand it. That's been my goal. It's my compromise. And I would film a lot for my own safety, and I would delete a lot of that video until I realized there were patterns and there was reasons to record it and keep it. I have more than you realize, and I have a lot of the receipts to show your lies, show who I am, what I do, what I think, and show your character. Everybody will know that you lied. Some of the things you did will be public knowledge. And when somebody wants to judge you in the future, there will be receipts. They won't be coming from MAGA. I won't be taking MAGA's shit. I'll be using my own video, my own words. You never wanted to hear my words. You wanted to have a reason to be violent and hate somebody. The thing you didn't count on, though, is I'm going to fight fascism, no matter who it is. And I will never, ever accept abuse, no matter how much you want me to. And I'm coming off of connecting with this man that I met down there. We had a pretty strong connection for a week until he abused me, and I had to narrowly escape his house and get to an Uber in time. Still, I came back to the ICE facility after a long hiatus in the middle of the week, middle of the day, just to have more lies spewed at me. More justification to abuse me. Your lies will be a part of the truth everybody knows. Your lies are cruel, and your lies depend on your inability to do that self-audit of how am I perpetuating fascism. I will not call you a fascist because I hope you heal from this. But what you did was fascism. That was fascism. And now I've had a lot of people tell me they don't come down there anymore because they're scared of you. They lost their voice, just like you try to take mine. You won't be able to take mine, but you will be able to take theirs. And I don't know if you feel good about that, but I bet you do. I bet you do. Fascism is not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay to abuse somebody. It is not okay to do gang violence to a disabled trans woman. Go check my YouTube of what I said about shame. Talk to people about how I talked about shame. Don't learn about me through MAGA media. Don't trust them. Read about Germany in World War II. Read about Germany in World War II and how you didn't have to be a Nazi to work for a Nazi to perpetuate what they were doing. I'm ready for you to change. I'm ready for you to renounce fascism and make amends. It would help if I got the $3,500 that was stolen and broken. Let's start with that, maybe. Fucking psychos.